Hello everyone, welcome back. We got just a quick short here talking about 3 signings that happened over the past couple of days. We did a couple more of these videos over the past few days, but we're doing another one here talking about 3 signings that happened back on January 5th. So first, we're going to go over to the Nashville Predators. As goaltender Justin Annunen, who's 25 years old, he's in the final year of a 2-year deal, AV of $838,000. It's been a pretty decent backup for the Nashville Predators. He's going to be an RFA at the end of the season, but the Predators got ahead of it and wound up signing him to a 2-year extension with an AV of $1.25 million. So nice little pay bump for Annunen. It's not too bad. I think for what Annunen brings, 2 years at just over $1 million isn't half bad for a solid backup goaltender. So far this year, hasn't had great numbers, but then again, the Predators haven't been fantastic in front of him. He's had 12 games played with a 3.29 GAA and 878 save percentage. I still feel like at the peak of his career, he could be like a solid 1A tandem sort of goaltender, and I think this is a really solid sign there for the Predators to lock him in for not only this year, but for the next couple of seasons. Then we saw the Blues, some of their young players. Toropchenko, who was an RFA. He is 26 years old. He's a winger. He's not doing half bad for the St. Louis Blues in a bottom 6 role. He's in a 1-year deal with AV of $1.7 million, so he need a new contract in the new year. Well, the St. Louis Blues have indeed signed him. The Blues signed free agent Toropchenko for the offseason to a 2-year deal with AV of $2.5 million. I think it's a little bit on the expensive side for a guy who's mostly been a bottom 6 for the past couple of years, but he does have potential, and I think this could be a deal that does work out over the next couple of years. So far this year in 27 games, has 2 goals and 5 points. It's not a huge producer on the offensive side for the St. Louis Blues, but he's a bigger body guy and a guy who's really hard to play against. So very interesting note there, but Toropchenko is going to be staying with the St. Louis Blues for the next couple of years. And then the big signing for our past couple of days was in Philadelphia, as the Philadelphia Flyers wound up extending UFA center Christian Dvorak. Dvorak, who's a 29-year-old center/left winger, is a pretty solid player. Signed a 1-year, $5.4 million deal this past July with the Philadelphia Flyers. He's had a pretty solid start to his Flyers career, and he's been looking really good. So the Flyers have taken it upon themselves to sign him to an extension. He gets a 5-year extension with an AAV of $5.15 million. So it's a slight bit lower on the AAV, but he's going to be signed for 5 years in Philadelphia. So as a decent second, third line center in the Flyers organization, he's worked out pretty well for the Philadelphia Flyers, so I think I can see why they would sign him. I think 5-year term might be a little bit too much, but I don't slightly still too much. I think just over $5 million is pretty good value for what Dvorak will have probably gone on the open market in July. So far this year, he has 9 goals and 26 points in 40 games, so given the fact a lot of teams are looking for like second, third line centers, locking Dvorak up I don't think it's a terrible deal. I just think it's a tiny bit too much term. So very interesting note there. Those are all the deals we're going to be talking about here today. We'll touch on more in future videos, so stay tuned for those. God bless y'all, and I'll see you on the next one.